Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's awesome to be here in the hometown celebrating this important achievement. Today, as we open our program officially, I get the honor and the pleasure of performing what we call the libation ceremony. The libation ceremony is a tradition all throughout the continent of Africa, where we recognize the ancestors who have made transition physically, but their spirit and their energy remains with us. Most of you in the audience today are named after a mom, pop, auntie. You still look like them. You see the pictures, you say, oh, who was that? And, well, that's pop, or that's mommy, that's auntie, or that's a neighbor. And so this tradition, which is thousands and thousands of years, is one of the most powerful traditions that we have continued, whether we're in South America, the Caribbean, Central America, or anywhere else in the diaspora. The remembering and the honoring of our ancestors is critical to our pathway forward. And there's no better opportunity than here at the Heritage Park. It is important to put this event and this particular location in context. At the end of the 19th century, many of you have heard of the Great Migration of African descendants, most of which were in the southern part of what's now the United States. And they moved northward from South Carolina, the Gullah Islands, Georgia, Florida, Arkansas, Texas. They moved to the areas that they thought they had better opportunities to. Delaware, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and the surrounding areas. And right here in Media, Pennsylvania, as Ms. Jeter mentioned, a century-old legacy of the NAACP. In this town of Media, Pennsylvania, one of the first, if not the first, African-American attorney in all of Delaware County from here in Media. You know, a group of ancestors, including my own, right here in this very spot. My family celebrates over 105 years right here in this town. And today, as we pay homage, assisted by my brother Joachim, we will teach you how to recognize the ancestors. Let me hear you say Ashe.
Ashe.
Let me hear you say Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe is a Yoruba word. You can use many words. It basically says, and it is so. And it is so. And we use that term when we call out the ancestors. And so today, as I recognize these ancestors, the ceremony is very simple. I use water. Sometimes people will take a drink, but I use water, and I pour this water, the energy, into the earth. And by virtue of pouring that into the earth, we get a chance to invite them into this ceremony. Some of you remember back in the day, I remember right back here on the corner of 5th and Olive, the OGs used to take their little wine bottles and they would pour it in there for Ray Ray or Bam Bam or whatever. Same traditions, whether it's speaking English, Spanish, Patois, you know what I'm saying, French, Creole, it's the same tradition. And so I start off in Media, right here in this side, right around the corner on Olive Street. The great families who migrated to the north, the Bond family, Irma Bond, Ronnie Bond, Richard Bond, right here on that corner. We asked the ancestors, Marie Lockwood and David Lockwood, to come join us today. Ashe, let me hear you say Ashe. My great-grandfather, Luther Randolph, who came up here from South Carolina, right on that corner, 5th and Olive, who came here with his family, we say Ashe. And his children, born right here in Media, Pennsylvania, who attended Second Baptist in the Rose Tree Media School. Corrine Randolph, my grandmother, Florence May Hawkins Randolph, Betty Randolph King, right here in this area. Josephine Randolph, right here in this area. Alfonso Bubble Randolph, right here in this area. All of these are our family members. My grandfather, Bishop Hawkins, right there on Orange Street. He was a firefighter right here in this area. Today we lost and we celebrated Darrell Blake, who lived right on the corner here. Young Darrell Blake, who passed away. We asked Darrell, now who's an ancestor, to join us. Ashe. I remember the Day family, the Corporate family. Let us remember Jumbo Johnson and his beautiful wife, Miss Barbara Johnson, right here in the corner, right here in Media. All the families in South Media, the Lomaxes and the Hunters, and all of these families, hairdressers, police officers, We say Ashe. We recognize them today. Juneteenth, who would have thought? In 1619, all the way to 1776, when we fought with Crispus Attucks in Massachusetts, the first to give the life for the country and the promises of freedom, but that freedom was not there. We say in their ancestral word, Ashe. And then in 1798, 1803, the War of 1812, the Spanish-American War, where the Africans fought for freedom right here in America, and they thought they were going to be free, but they weren't. We say Ashe. And then we got the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation, and we thought, man, there's no way we can go backwards now, because we fought for the country with Smalls and Delaney and all those Africans who fought for freedom, along with the abolitionists, William Lloyd Garrison, John Brown. We say Ashe. But there were groups of people left out, people of African descent throughout Texas and all throughout the Union who were not included. They were still in bondage. They were still in slavery. And so we remember them today, Ashe. And then Reconstruction, who would have thought all these baseball players and football players and all these professional athletes and singers and dancers that were at one time we thought were included in Reconstruction, only to find Jim Crow leap his head in the 1880s, in the 1900s, the 1920s. Some of your great-great-grandparents remember the lynchings in Tulsa. In their spirit, we say Ashe. Some of you think this is just a dog park. You walk in this beautiful park, but this is sacred land. The people, my people, your people, the community who came from those areas and said, we're going to set up shop on Orange Street, Olive Street, 6th Street, Jackson, Monroe, the Media Youth Center, Rose Creek, Colt, all of these areas from Pencrest High School to Media High School, Sandy Bay. These communities were communities that welcomed Africans into this community media where we made our land. There was a time right there on State Street at the founding of the Fellowship House and the NAACP, where people of African descent could not even get a meal on State Street. But the community around, they rallied. White people, black people, people of Asian descent, they rallied. This is a unique town. Juneteenth celebrates that uniqueness. That's why the moniker, what? Media, everybody's hometown. Today we ask all of those people who coached us, who taught us, who guided us, took us home from practice and school and homework, black, white, and everybody in between, we say Ashe. To the Africans who are still here in this community, whose sons and daughters, granddaughters are still here, we ask them to come and join us today in Juneteenth. Everybody say Ashe, 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 Ashe. Oh, thank you. Welcome to Juneteenth, Libation, Pennsylvania, 2024. I'm Brother Julani Donner. This is my community. I grew up right on that block, 37 steps away, 19 West 5th Street. My parents still live at 203 West Lincoln Street, Second Baptist Church in Media, Pennsylvania.
Amen. Amen.
Trinity Church, Campbell Church, St. Paul's. We did it all. Even the Episcopal churches, the Pentecostal churches, Nativity BPM. We did it all. We became a community. And Juneteenth celebrates and welcomes that. Ashe.
Ashe.